Thank you. Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Speaker Welch, thank you so much. Thank you. And I am so honored and humbled to be with you all this afternoon. And that reception is just the way my seventh graders would greet me when I came into the classroom. But you know, there was always a few that didn't stand and clap. So I appreciate for making me feel right at home. Look, we're uniting this entire state. Illinois, our best days are ahead, so give yourself a nice round of applause. To Speaker Welch and to President Harmon and members of the General Assembly and all of my fellow Illinoisans, thank you all so much for having me today. This is truly humbling because it wasn't too long ago that I was teaching middle school in a classroom or before assisting in constituent services for an up-and-coming state senator by the name of Don Harmon. And to the Senate President, who gave me my first job, you are responsible for what happens to the city of Chicago. Thank you. I'm not going to tell y'all how much he paid me per hour. I got to treat Senate and House staff a little better, though. But now today, I think there was one applaud there. There was probably the one union member in here. Now today, I stand before you, though, of course, of someone who was just teaching middle school and working part-time for this body. I now stand today as the mayor-elect of the city of Chicago. Thank you. But make no mistake about it, I'm here today to establish a productive, collaborative, and energetic partnership to invest in the people of Chicago and the engine of this economy here in Illinois. I want to take a moment to lay out in a very specific way, in front of all of you, my vision for how Chicago and Springfield can work together to deliver for the people of Illinois. Because pundits and cynics don't always see it that way, do they? But it's a new day for Chicago, and it's a new day for the state of Illinois. For years, they've told us that this is a zero-sum game, that if something is good for Chicago, well, that means we're taking something away from Peoria. They tell us that the challenges that we face in the city of Chicago and families like mine on the west side of Chicago aren't the same challenges shared by families from Rockford to Carbondale, from East St. Louis to Champaign and everywhere in between. Our challenges are not that unique. They are challenges that we recognize in every corner of this great state. They've tried to frame this as a choice. But I'm here to deliver an emphatic message today. It is a false choice. No one has to lose at the expense of someone else winning. There's more than enough for everybody in the state of Illinois. Because in Chicago, the food that we eat in our world-renowned restaurants come from farms all over Illinois. The solar electricity that we use to power O'Hare Airport will come from one of the nation's largest solar farms being built right here near Springfield. Wherever you live in our great state, we are all connected, not just those in a very concrete way, but because we all want the same things for our families. Good paying jobs, health care, safe streets, and quality schools. We all want it. And I all know too often that many times that the challenges that we face and the divisive nature of our politics want to divide us when it is very clear that we are connected in a very meaningful way. You know, it is often said that a budget is more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It is a reflection of our values. In order to have good health care and safe streets and quality schools, we have to be committed to our values. And our values have to be very much committed and aligned with our investments. Now, some of you all know that I am a son of a pastor, which means this address is going to go on for the next 45 minutes. Thank you. I got one witness. Clearly has nowhere else to go. But as a son of a pastor, I'm reminded of a scripture, Matthew 6:21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. See, I believe we can show every community in Illinois that in our hearts, we treasure the lives, the safety, the economic security, and the rights of all Illinoisans. So I feel a sense of camaraderie and companionship today because your body of work has shown it's possible for lawmakers to take bold action to lift up the people of the state of Illinois instead of just pitting people against one another. This body has united this state. And here's what it looks like. In fact, that we can take it one step further. In my view, the state of Illinois, led by Governor Pritzker and this legislative body, has become the vanguard for progressive policy all over this country. You've done it. Labor rights are being strengthened here in Springfield as we create new, good-paying union jobs. Yes, Chicago is a union town, and Illinois is a union state. Just look at our state constitution, where we guarantee workers the fundamental right to organize and to collectively bargain, right there in our Bill of Rights. That's a remarkable testament to what a dreamer once said. He said that the enemy of labor is the enemy of the Negro, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And we have made it a part of our Bill of Rights. God bless the state of Illinois. You've invested nearly $500 million into public safety, including $250 million for the Office of Gun and Youth Violence. New state investment in Chicago public schools that helped us engage with disconnected youth. And you got them off to successfully re-engaging, not just in our schools, but with the wraparound services and programming that we need in our school communities. Young people were lifted up in every single neighborhood in the city of Chicago because of this body. $70 million for domestic violence prevention and $2 million for expanding trauma recovery centers. And not only money well spent, but it was also a smart investment that saved lives. That's what this body has done. That is the marker of the politics that comes right out of this body. And again, thank you for your progressive effort to bring the type of transformation that the state of Illinois deserves. And along with all of that, you've raised the state's credit rating, and you directed $1 billion towards a once depleted rainy day fund. This body has done such a remarkable job. There are policy analysts in California and New York, and even at the federal government, who are studying what you've done here to replicate it nationwide. This approach has been recognized in Chicago as well. My mission in Chicago is to bring about the same smart, responsible, bold approach to budgets that have delivered here in Springfield. When my administration arrives on the 5th floor of City Hall, we stand ready to work with everyone of this legislative body and, of course, throughout the state capitol. Together, we hope to build on all of these accomplishments and, of course, to continue to deliver for working people. Throughout my campaign for mayor and in my time as mayor-elect, I've called to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. Chicago, as you know, is the economic engine of Illinois. When our economy grows, it drives widespread prosperity across our state. Businesses of all sizes, small to large, are essential to that prosperity. We must work with the entrepreneurs and the business community to grow the industries of today and attract the industries of tomorrow. And we will do that. We'll do it together by leveraging our strength, a dynamic workforce, a world-class cultural and educational institutions, robust infrastructure, and progressive values that embrace everyone. It's no coincidence that the progressive values led President Joe Biden to select Chicago, Illinois, to host the Democratic Convention in year 2024. Now, I know there are other elected officials that take credit. I'm just saying. But it is estimated that at least $150 million will be activated in our economy. And we also get to highlight our state's role as the foundation of the blue wall that has delivered the White House for strong Democratic presidents, including our own brother, President Barack Obama. Together, City Hall and the General Assembly will not only have shared interests in driving economic growth in Chicago, we will also have shared collective interests for our legislative goals. Look, public safety is a prerequisite to the prosperity of Chicago. And the voters have sent a clear message that they want to get smart, not just tough on crime. We have a mandate to make bold, necessary investments that address the root causes of violence. And we must do a better job of supporting, of course, our law enforcement officers who put their lives on the line every single day. And right now, we are asking them to do too much and failing to support them through the enormous mental health challenges that come with one of the most dangerous jobs in America, and under a Johnson administration that will change. And here's what that change looks like. That's why we are going to expand mental health services for police officers. We will continue and we will keep investing in reforms that build trust in law enforcement and working hand in hand with you and our Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, to ensure that that happens. We will invest in promoting 200 more detectives to improve clearance rates, and of course, disincentivize crime by actually solving crime when it happens. But we're going to go one step further to address the root causes of crime, you all. Our city currently faces youth employment rate of 19% for those 16 to 19 years old and 12% for those 20 to 24-year-olds. As a result, too many young Chicagoans feel there is nowhere to turn. Instead of lagging behind other major cities on youth summer jobs, Chicago will look to aggressively expand the number of jobs for young people. We'll do it by bringing government, philanthropy, the private enterprises together around our common interests to invest in people, particularly young people, and that is the future of the state of Illinois, our young people. Building a stronger, safer Chicago, it also means starting earlier. A better Chicago, a stronger economy here in Illinois demands stronger public schools. And as a teacher, I stand ready to continue to make those strong investments and to deliver on the promise of fully funded neighborhood schools. Public education at the expense of the state, after all, is a Negro idea. A revised school funding formula will not only help every community across the state, but it will also help ensure there is a nurse and a social worker in every single school in Chicago. For these investments, the city will build a comprehensive trauma response network at the schools most impacted by violence. We will be able to offer a range of social services to students and families to help them process this trauma and heal while also interrupting the cycle of violence. These are investments in ourselves, in our children, and in our economy. Investing to create 200 more jobs in the Chicago public schools can yield incredible dividends going forward. In addition to lifting up the young people and the most vulnerable in Chicago, I believe we also have a responsibility to address those who are new to our communities. In an attempt to divide Americans, state legislators and executives in other states have seized on the influx of asylum seekers, often fleeing violence and economic devastation at our border, and sought to make them a political football. But in Illinois, we recognize human rights and respect human dignity. Chicago is proudly a welcoming city. Illinois is a welcoming state. And with your support, we can prove that our city can both welcome people seeking asylum while also investing in communities that have faced disinvestments for decades. Now, there are those that are trying to divide our communities. You're going to have a mayor that's always going to be honest with you and tell you the truth. The attempt to divide the black and brown community, not under a Johnson administration. Of course, with your continued help, we will also build a healthier city. As far-right federal judges try to strip away abortion rights, Chicago stands with the rest of Illinois in protecting reproductive health care and maintaining our place as a safe sanctuary for those seeking abortions while living in the neighborhoods and, of course, neighboring red states that wish to divide us. Chicago and Illinois will always be a safe space for women's reproductive rights. And of course, building a healthier city also means supporting mental health care. We're going to reopen our mental health centers in the city of Chicago. But this will allow us to build on the support for mental health care that Springfield has provided for years. All of these investments for youth employment, stronger schools, investing in mental health care, and welcoming asylum seekers, it helps us build a stronger Chicago. Because those kids that are seeking asylum and those children who are seeking housing, our ideas and our hopes should not divide us. That whether you came from Salis, Mississippi, like my family, or Central America, the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois is prepared to embrace every single family that wishes to thrive and grow in one of the greatest states, if not the greatest states, in this entire union. Because it's these kinds of investments are exactly why the local government distributive fund was established. By increasing funding, this body can help provide Chicago and cities and towns across the state with the resources that are needed to build from the ground up. And when we build a better, stronger, safer Chicago, we are building a better, stronger, safer Illinois. We can show that relationships between political leaders in Chicago and Springfield, we can show that we can build our communication, we can build our trust, and of course we can demonstrate what collaboration really looks like. We can do that, you all. I'm confident. I've felt so much love being here in Springfield. I wonder where you all get all that from. Just tell me where that establishment is and I'll order 2 of them. But Chicago and Springfield can work together. It doesn't mean that we always get along. You all know I have 9 brothers and sisters. My parents were foster parents. Our home looked like the House of Representatives. And we survived that home with 1 bathroom. I know, even Republicans are cheering for me now. Like, that brother can do it. My father had one goal, for everyone to leave the house clean. Now, how you figure it out and get there? He counted on us. The people of Illinois are counting on us to figure it out and to do it together. And so I want to be a partner in this incredible, progressive body that is delivered for people across the state. We want to make sure that businesses grow, thrive everywhere in Illinois, because we want the major events to be here. From the DNC to conventions of all sizes, I want them to choose Chicago to spur the type of incredible economic activity across this state. And the truth is, we do have shared values and shared challenges. We have seen the kind of crime and violence that has torn families and communities apart for too long. We have seen the impact of disinvested schools. I've seen them firsthand as a teacher. We have seen the disparities in our economy between different communities across our state. And for too long, we have failed to reach our full potential because of those challenges. Our core values have to be front and center. We believe that every single family, no matter where you live in our state, deserve economic opportunity and affordable housing and good schools. We can, you all, and we will come together as one state to deliver for all God's people. We can and we will come together as a state to deliver for every single Illinoisan across this state. No matter where you are, from Rockford, and yes, I know we're Tams, Illinois. We are building a political infrastructure to ensure that we do not leave it to chance that families will have access to health care and transportation and good paying jobs. We have to make it a guarantee that every single family in the state of Illinois has access to the very fundamentals that my people in particular fought for at the end of emancipation. Descendants of slaves. So, General Assembly, I say this today with deep belief and conviction that our best and brightest days are still in front of us. As we emerge out of this unprecedented global pandemic, with all of the devastation and the economic hardship and the social dislocation, we have seen as a result, I believe, we have seen as a result what's possible when we come together. We can build a stronger Illinois for everyone. We can lead Chicago and Springfield and our entire state to a new era. We will govern not out of fear, but with hope. We can lead Chicago and Springfield to a place where not just a blue wall is an example for how we build progressive political politics across the state of Illinois and across this region. I'm talking about shared values, that it doesn't matter which God you worship. It doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter where you lay your head at night. You get to have an economy that works for you. Together, we can build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. Together, we can build a better, stronger Illinois. God bless you, General Assembly. I look forward to working together. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Members, as is customary, our honored guests